Hey, family. Hey, family. You know what? I'm so used to coming on singing my Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. But nah, um, this is Saturday. And I had to make a run earlier. So I decided to come on at 2 o'clock. Now, a lot of y'all know, right? Mondays, Wednesday, Fridays at 4 o'clock. From 4 to 4:45 is the Couch Talk Show, right? And I think what I'm gonna start doing with that, maybe on a Wednesday, I might do mental health, men's mental health, because I've been hearing a lot about that lately. So that's something that I'm thinking about doing, where uh, a bunch of men and us can come together and talk about some of the stuff that we're dealing with, like depression, PTSD, anxiety, just life in general, you know. And my goal with that is to help women kind of understand, you know, the trials and tribulations that your man go through. And it's not that you always have to try to fix us. That's not what it's all about, you know. Um, and that's what I was looking at. When I got up, um, some stuff was weighing on my spirit, mainly the men's mental health. Now, on Saturdays at 2 o'clock is actually supposed to be the team, Baltimore's real team talk show. So, what I'm trying to do now with myself, I have been really laying back, trying to get my health back together and everything so I can begin to do these things again. I've been praying to see if this with God is this the area that God wants me to continue going in with helping our youth. I don't think I'll ever stop, right? I won't never stop as far as trying to help our people, period. Whether it's women, children, men, husband, wives, whoever that reaches out to strengthening the community for help. The point is being there for them. So as far as where I'm at with that, that's not going to stop. But I'm looking at like the shows itself, coming on here at a certain time, like 2 o'clock. I might switch the time up, you know, but for the Team Talk show, right? For Saturdays at 2, I might switch the times up. Once I find out what is the best time to get our youth, once they wake up to tune in. That's basically where I'm at with that, right? So that's why I started at 2 o'clock, because I was asking people what's a good time, and mainly our young people, what's a good time to start the Teen Talk show for them. So once we get to going on the regular, that's the whole key with me, is just getting up, starting it at the regular time. Now, I don't mind once I come up and say, like, some teenagers, y'all might want to talk to your teenagers and say, Mr. Steve have a teen talk show, y'all want to come on, they can come on, that's no problem. You know, um, and my goal is with them is not to, but the goal is to make sure the parents is all right with it. Don't get it wrong. But what we want to do, I want them to be able to talk about where they at, what's going on with them, but feel comfortable with it. You know, um, as far as touching real touchy areas, like trauma, those areas basically we'll watch out for, but go as close as we can, but not too specific. You get me? Because that's where your counselors, that's where your therapists come in at. that's where you know, if they need to talk to a psychiatrist, and not just talk to a psychiatrist to get medicated, you know, because there's other ways that we can deal with, say, our mental issues and stuff like that, or dysfunctional issues. There's other ways that we can do things without meds. And that's what I've been open to too. Looking at people who's into holistic uh remedies and stuff like that. Because I understand everybody do not need meds. But if you diagnose with a certain, say, mental disorder, and that's where the psychiatrist come in at. If you're diagnosed with a certain mental disorder, yes, they're going to prescribe meds for you. Sometimes certain meds might not make you feel right, but you have to let them know that this is not doing such and such, you know, as far as with your feelings and your emotions, mainly if it's making you more aggressive. You want to talk with that professional to let them know this is not helping me balance out, you know, because it's a lot of ways now. Don't get it wrong. It's a lot of ways that we can do stuff to help our people. And that's where I'm at with life in general. Now, for a lot of y'all that might not understand, I did want to touch on my regular show, the Couch Conversation Show, right? Mondays, Wednesday, Fridays, from 4 to 4:45. 9 times out of 10, I say 4 to 4:45. It might go 3-4 hours. You get me? But I do want to, within that 4 to 4:45, stick to whatever topic we'll talk about that day, right? And we can span doing it as time go on. But my goal is 4:45, but God dang it, every time I come up here, I tend to go for about 4 hours. That's what I do. Right? What's up, Dr. K? So this is where I'm at with that. Now, the Teen Talk Show. And y'all know I want a studio where we could sit in there, and one area, I'm looking at the round table, like a round table for the kids, right? For the youth, like what Jade and them was doing. I'm looking at a round table, right? But I'm looking at having a little audience there as well. Other little younger, you know, our youth. So if somebody want to ask questions, somebody want to talk about certain things, you know, and I want a professional. When I say professional, understand this. When I hey Bella, understand this. I share my experience, right? From what I went through as a child. I share that. Whether I'm on TikTok or I'm on my personal broadcast network. I share from my personal experience of what I went through in life, or I seen with my own two eyes in life. But it's not to stay stuck. Don't get it wrong. It's not to stay stuck on the problem. We already know what it is. But the goal is to touch it and then go into a process of coping or solutions towards coming out of it and staying out of it a day at a time. A lot of people who deals with depression, the reason why you deal with depression, because you have a tendency, you'll go in your past, and it's not personally, you don't ask to be miserable. That's not how we live. Like today, I just want to be miserable, right? That's not what it is. No. But we have a tendency when we go back down memory lane, certain things tend to traumatize us, because now we pulling up old memories, right? And it tends to bother us in the here and now. And I started learning that's why a lot of us tend to deal with depression, because we're bringing it in. And the next thing you know, we starting to feel bad inside, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So now you have to find a way actually to let it go, right? Just for today. I'm going to just focus on today, not tomorrow. Right now is 2:14. It's just to focus on today, right? So whatever that's coming that's bothering you from your past, what we have to learn to do is simple, but it can be complicated. And when I say it's simple and it can be complicated, because you have to learn to let it go And I'm talking about your past, because it will come in the here and the now, and then you wonder why you feeling uncomfortable, why you in this state of walloping, because now you done pull some old stuff up. You get me? And it's starting to bother you right now. So thank you, Dr. K. She said depression is either situational or clinical. She's right. Because normally when we talk about a situation, and it still can be something in the here and now as well. Do not get it wrong. But a lot of times when you find yourself, and if I find myself in this woe state, in a depressive state, why me? Why this? Why that? What I have to do, right? I have to focus on something positive. And that's the way I was taught early on, over 30 years ago. Whenever you find yourself in this wallow state, right? Which the way I explained it to the therapist, right? I was telling the therapist, I said, what depression is for me is when you in a grave, right? And you fighting to get up out, because you in a hole, and you fighting to get up out of it. And that state of depression. Some people might take 2-3 months, might take a couple of weeks. But the thing is, you gotta fight. You gotta fight it. But what you gotta do when you in the bed or you somewhere, you like walloping, you in self-pity, you not feeling good, you have to, I'm telling you right now, you have to grab something positive to grab hold on to, because what you starting to do, you starting to go inside spiritually. And it's a battle. Do not get it wrong. It's a battle. You have to go in and you have to start encouraging yourself. You have to start motivating yourself. You have to start empowering yourself. Even if you go look in the mirror, and sometimes I'll do certain things when I'm feeling a little down and out, right? I go look in the mirror. I already know I'm a handsome man. I already know that. I already know I'm a handsome man. You get me? I know I'm a good looking man. But now I'm going to tell you what I'll do, and then I'll crack up. I'll bust out laughing. I know I'm a handsome man. I know I'm a good looking man. But then when I'm in the mirror, right, I'll be like, I'm beautiful. I'm sexy. I'm gorgeous. And I bust out laughing. Because you know, only women is gorgeous, sexy, beautiful. So I'll say that to myself, and it'd be like, Steve, stop that bull crap. But these are things that I would have to do. And I'm just throwing you some little ways and means, right? Now, I will do it. And sometimes when we on our live, right? And if somebody come up and I know they're in a state of depression, I'll tell them like this. I said, go look in the mirror. Mainly if it's a woman, you know, because you're gonna tell yourself you beautiful, you gorgeous. You got to. And the reason why I'm saying that, you see how I did this? Because you building this. You building this. You building this. And you going here. You got to tell yourself you are worthy. There's greatness in you. And you not just tell yourself, you got to believe in what you're saying. Because I'm going to tell you, sometimes when I'm here and I can't move about the way I want, right? I want to run and go here and go there, and I can't do it. I'm getting ready. I mean, I can't run like I used to. That's all I'm saying. And then again, too, understand I'm getting a little older now. So it's not to stress myself out as much, right? As far as trying to be here, trying to be there, that's all I'm saying. But when you're dealing with depression, right? 9 times out of 10 is something that's bothering you from the past. Then you know we deal with anxiety, right? That's when things tend to get the best of us and stress us out. And I'm telling y'all right now, because I'm looking at myself as I talk to y'all, right? And I'm looking at my skin. I'm looking at, you know, because I haven't been out in the sun too much, how lighter I done got. You know, maybe this is my third great grandfather complexion starting to come out because he was white, right? But still, when I look at myself, y'all, and I'm going through certain things, I have to tell myself, you're a great man. You are a wonderful man. You know, if even though my marriage has failed, right? Even though my marriage has failed, wait a minute, baby girl. even though my marriages failed, right? I was the one that screwed up. Let me put it like that. My first wife, I've been knowing now for 45 years. She's real close with my family and everything. I'm close with her still. But I've been knowing her for 45 years. You know, I don't dislike her. I don't hate her. The marriage just didn't work. You get me? I'm the one that ended up, she set me free, leaving. So when I think about it, sometimes I think about the good times. I don't try to sit back and say, well, I cheated on, I'm gonna talk about it. Y'all know I'm gonna talk about it, right? But I cheated on her. I did this, I did that. Rather she did that or not, that stuff she gotta answer to. I'm not, look, I'm not gonna beat her up for whatever she did, if she did what she did, because I was the one that always had an issue with stepping outside the marriage. But I didn't realize when I started stepping out, I was actually stepping out to go. I didn't realize. Some people will work on it, but I didn't realize I was backing out rather than just leaving. Some people might say, just go, but that's not everybody. Sometimes you gotta muster it up, because now you breaking up your household, your family in general, right? So anyway, things like that, what I'm saying, because that was my first wife. And I realized my first wife was my best wife. She never gave me problems. She never gave me a hard way to go. It was just me. So I got to be honest with me. It's not about her. I had to learn to accept the fact. And I even asked myself one day, Steve, why every time you get married, you cheat in your marriage? But to be honest, and it's not to put it in a negative way, I was starting to lose the desire for, you know, that spark wasn't there like it was in the beginning. Now I can say stuff like that because I see it. So rather than me bringing that into the present, right? You have to leave it over there. And no matter what, even though we're not together, we have a beautiful relationship, mainly when it comes to our children, well, my daughter and our grandkids. I don't dislike her or hate her. She don't dislike me or hate me. That's not how it works. The marriage just didn't work. I'm talking about in my case. But now I got married again. But guess what? We're not together. But the thing is, when I look at it, I've been knowing my first wife for 45 years. I've been knowing my second wife all together now for 26 years. And how I keep up with that, right? When I met her, my 26-year-old stepdaughter was only 2 months at the time. That's my daughter. The one that's 30, that's my daughter, right? She called me Big Steve. I'm all right with that because I let her choose what she wanted to call me, either Pop, Big Steve, whatever that she was comfortable with. And if she need help with anything, she know I'm here for. We put them through college and everything. So I'm just sharing this with y'all because it's going into like that family oriented mode. But I want to go back to that word that I use mainly when it comes to either being depressed, right? And I was looking at it one day and it hit me. I read up on it a little bit and it talked about like depression in the here and now is because we tend to bring stuff out of the past into our presence. And I know by right, that ain't something you choose to do like the day I want to be miserable. I already know that. But I already know too, sometimes when we go back down memory lane, certain things we got to learn to shoot out. But now, if you don't automatically know how to let it go, the way I was taught, I have to focus on something positive, even though it's coming, it's draining. I got to focus on something positive. That's why I use the mirror as an example. Because when I look in the mirror, like I'm looking at myself right now, right? I'm looking at my skin complexion. I'm looking at the little gray right here. It's like I'm embracing myself. I'm 63 years old now. I remember at one point, I didn't think I was going to make it past 21. So to be 63, I'm amazed. So why should I sit back and keep going, woe is me, why that? You know, so I'm just saying it because I know it takes work to come up out of it too. Because I got my days now where it's like, I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to be bothered. It's like, leave me alone. My phone's is on silent. If you call me, leave me a message. Because look, my phone will ring off the yang, 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 yang. And I'm just telling y'all now, for the space that I'm in, hey T, for the space that I'm in, right? I love the peace. I love the peace that I feel right now. I'm not in a relationship. I'm kind of debating. Do I want to get into one? No. Hey, baby girl, I want. Yeah, I want one. Yeah. You know, I don't. But guess what? They ain't hard to do. And I'm talking about finding that special person. But it's like, am I willing? And then I might sound a little selfish, right? But catch it. Am I willing to share this handsome dude with somebody else? Let me stop. Y'all probably go, oh, he's sick. No, but seriously. I mean, being by myself now for a while, right? It's like I love the space of peace that I'm in. Hey, mama, dude. So don't get it wrong. I love the space and the peace that I'm in. And sometimes what we could do, we can get boredom mixed up with peace. Oh, heck no. And I realized that one day. I said, you know, because God like moved everybody out my life. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Blah, 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 right there. But I realized I was at peace. I was like, oh my God. Because we will get boredom mixed up with peace. No. Because what God have a tendency of doing, he will allow certain things to happen to shut you down so that it can be just you and him. No TV, no TikTok, no jumping on your phones. Just enjoy the moment. And I'm like, oh my God. It was like I'm bored, but I realized I was not bored. I was in a state of peace. My children, my nieces and nephew, I raised too, the three oldest ones, right? They over there. They living their lives. They doing what they doing, right? My children, they over there. They living their lives. They doing what they doing. I do not worry about them like that. Because when I look back at like my first wife, my family, my second wife, when I look at us, right, we did a great freaking job in raising them with morals, values, principles. We did a great job. So when I sit back and I look at it, I'm like, I'm really proud of the life they live in. I am really proud of the life they are living. I do not worry about them the way I might do the people that's in my housing program, because the goal is I want them to understand how important it is, because you have to change the quality of your thinking. You have to get rid of that old stinky thinking stuff. That's the way I was taught. I was taught that you have to change people, places, and things. So I don't go to clubs. I don't go to you know disco stuff like that. I said disco's dead. Disco's still out there. But anyway, I don't do that. I try not to go around the people that I used to, you know, do all that with. That's for TikTok's sake, family. Smuggling and all of that. I try not to hang out with smugglers. Heck to no. Because I ain't trying to go to prison for nobody. I just want y'all to know that. If you still living a certain life, that's fine. Stay away from me. I'm too pretty to go to prison. I ain't look. I'm too pretty. What the freak I want to go over to jail for and spend time over there looking at a bunch of other guys? I mean, come on. So I have to try to watch, mainly when it comes to my attitude or my behavior, because I know how I used to be. I know how I used to be. I was taught never to let your left hand know what your right hand doing. So when you go out there and do something, Steve, you do it by yourself in secrecy. So can't nobody tell on you. My brothers and them taught me that. So a lot of times when y'all want to threaten somebody, I'll be like, what? Come on. Let me know what date and time you want to come. Let's keep it real. Let me know what date and time. Might call 911 on your egg. And I might sound like a white woman too. Hello? This is Karen. This guy just smacked me. Black guy. Bald-headed and handsome. Try me. Just let me know what date and time you want to come. I'm going to tell you, meet me at Norfolk, Pennsylvania. Meet me at Norfolk, Pennsylvania. That's one of the roughest areas in Baltimore City West. Meet me at Norfolk, Pennsylvania. And that's all you got to do is ask for the big mouth boy, black dude, or ask for Deacon Steve. That's all you got to do. Come to Pennsylvania North. I grew up West. And my whole goal with other people is to help turn basically Baltimore City. Not it's like to slow a lot of the stuff down that's going on. Okay. And being in, I'm gonna say, I'm going to get the bus. Steve, stop. You make me thinking you talking about that time when I was on the bus with Phyllis and them. Man, I ain't been on a bus in years. Steve, I don't even know how to catch a bus unless I'm with somebody to show. I ain't good with the green, yellow, orange. I'm like, huh? But yeah, nah, cause since Steve, actually be honest. Oh, I normally catch a lift over there. If I catch a lift. Cause when I got locked up, right? When I got locked up, I have to get all my paperwork back. I got to get my license and everything back too. I got to get all that back, Steve. I ain't tell y'all, Steve, when they arrested me, they raided my niece's house. And all my paperwork, my office paperwork was in my room. And my niece said, Uncle Steve, they tore your room up, paperwork and everything. And then somebody stole my wallet, right, with my ID and all that in it. So I got to get my driver's license and all that back. So I don't jump behind the wheel, Steve, like my truck right there. Now, if my son, like I go down there to check it out, normally my son or my daughter, they come and get me because I'm not trying to run no risk, Steve, and getting stopped. I ain't tell you that, Steve. My daughter was in my car one day, my 26-year-old, and she was going down Urban, I think. And she said the police, he was on the other side of the street. He turned around, right, because they know my green truck. And they stopped her. And actually, he was harassing her. And he said, yeah, tell your father I said hi. I said, you got his name? Don't fuck with my children. Excuse my language, y'all. Don't mess with my family. I don't give a hell about your badge, your gun, none of that. You're a human being just like me. Do not mess with my family. I know a lot of police officers too that's white. And it's not about, coming up against nobody to do all this, right? I will reach over your head. Come for him. Come for him. I have no problem talking with your commander. I have no problem talking with your chief. I have no problem calling your supervisor. Yeah, Steve. And I'm gonna share this. The guy that did it, He charged, look, man, the guy used to talk, Steve, the white boy. Me and him would talk when his camera wasn't on, stuff like that. We would talk, right? And we would just talk about life. He was talking about, you know, he talked about how he wanted to leave a legacy behind for his children. Me and him would talk, Steve. And for him to turn around and do that, what he did, that messed me up, bro. And then the detective lady, right? Because he came up with these charges and they wanted to talk to me. You don't ask me a question and then tell me how to answer it. Because when I went around there to talk with these two detectives, right, they asked me a question, and you know I talk a lot. So I started explaining. Then she said, that's all you have to do is say yes or no. I said, no, I won't. And guess what? That's the one that put 3 more charges on me. Fake charges. So I got indicted. I haven't even told Brandon Scott yet. Somebody told me, they said, did you talk with Ivan Bates about that yet? I said, no, I didn't know I could. I didn't know I could talk with Ivan Bates because it was his office that was prosecuting me. They say, yeah. But I didn't know. But when I see them personally, and I know they seeing it on TikTok, on Twitter anyway. Now, you know, when I first came home, Steve, I couldn't really talk about it, right? But now what? Come on. Because to be honest with you, I want them to apologize to me for what they did, Steve. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. I tried at that time, Steve, I tried to meet with Commissioner Harris 3 times about the stuff I was going through with the Eastern District Police Department. One day I called because I couldn't see him without an appointment. So I called and the secretary was like, who do you want me to tell him that's calling? I said, just tell him the big mouth bald black dude. He know who I am. He know who I am. And she bust out laughing. I said, yeah, tell him the big mouth bald black dude. You know, he's a pastor. He's a pastor. I'm connected with him on Facebook, but I'm connected with some other people that knows him, and he just started. I think he's been in the ministry anyway because it was something different about him. So he's been in the ministry, but now him and his wife have their own church. But he did retire, and he knew he had a calling on his life, so he just went on into, you know, doing what God called him to do. But now, I don't know why Alabama is coming to mind, Steve, as far as where he's probably at. But I know it's somewhere like that. But yeah, after he left, I've been keeping up with him, right? But you know, like him and some of our, I'm gonna say, mega church pastors, right? Some of them on here, some of them on TikTok. Certain bishops and apostles, because they know where I'm at ministry wise, they'll come through. I look down there, I might see Bishop Brown. I'll be like, oop. Bishop Carrington. He's not on TikTok like that, but he's on Facebook. And he's another person that, you know, that I deal with, other than my past and all that, you know. So for a lot of y'all that want to think, stop thinking we perfect. We human. We make mistakes too. But I can tell you right now, I tried, no, let me watch it. A lot of the stuff I used to do, let me put it like that. A lot of the stuff that I used to do, I don't do it no more. So, you know, when I look at that word repentance, shout, Steve. I know. But you know what, Steve? Because I'm telling you, the way I look at things, right? You try your best when you know the truth. So let's go there. When you are familiar with the 10 commandments and the 5 books of Moses, that's God's way of telling you how he wants you to live your life. He's telling you that. He's telling me how he wants me to live my life by some morals, values, and principles, right? Integrity. And keep in mind too, y'all might get mad at what I'm getting ready to say, right? But you know, God created whatever God created was good. It's good. It's good. Whatever God created is good. But what I found out for me, Steve, when you know the truth from his word and you disobey his word, you sinned against the Father. That's all. That's just like my mother or my father. If they tell me don't do this and don't do that right, and I do it, I disobeyed the Father. That's all Lucifer did. God had a certain task for him to do. And he got to that point, he disobeyed the Father. We the one make him out to be a monster, evil. So then look at yourself. Everything God created is good. I'm the one that tends to fall short to this. The desires of the flesh. Come on. Get out that religious box. I'm the one. That's why I can't take the word and apply it to everybody else, because when I'm reading and I'm studying, that's God's way of talking to me. Telling me I should not lay with a man as I would lie with a woman. Now, if you don't feel that or you don't see that in a sense, that's where you at. But I know, number one, he loves you in spite of. I already know that. But it's people that have a tendency of trying to judge you for the way you live your life. I had to stop doing that. Well, the word said, to you. You don't do it. So those are things, Steve, that throughout the years I begin to understand, right? My connection with God. And that's to go back to whenever I'm feeling a certain way, right? I cannot allow those things to interfere with my relationship with me and God, because that's where the comfort comes from. That's the comforter. That's where, that protection, that wedge of protection around my life. So when I'm feeling a certain way, family, what I have to do is focus more on, like, I'll listen to gospel, right? Because gospel soothes my spirit. And it makes me feel like I'm one and one with God. Wherever you want to say the creator, wherever you want to say the Son, wherever you want to say the Holy Spirit, wherever you want to say Mother Earth, wherever you want to say your third eye, wherever you want to say that energy, however, as long as it's positive for you. For you. Because we can't and we never will please everybody with the way we do stuff. So it's not about me trying to please you. My whole thing is God. My thing is God. I want to make sure I'm walking in the path. I want to make sure I'm doing what he called me to do. And if I'm not, or say I sway, I have to get right back with him on track. So I'm only helping y'all understand basically how God works with me. How my connection with God is. But I'm not trying to push it now. Don't get it wrong. Because my journey is not based around religion like it used to be. That's just the basis. But as I began to grow over the years, my journey became more spiritual. And when I say spiritual, it became more personal. So if you want to sit back and say, well, Jesus' name wasn't really Jesus, it was Yahweh or Yukon and all that, okay, that's fine. It wasn't no J in the Bible during this time, such and such and such. Okay, that's fine. I just know from reading what I read, the Holy Bible. And if your Holy Bible have Yahweh in the name of Jesus, that's fine. Okay? Because he's known by many names. And we all know that. And you read it too. He's known by many names. But it's only one name that carries a lot of power and authority. And if I say the name of Jesus Christ, now, if you want to say Yahweh, you want to say Yukon, you want to say Alexis, you can say whatever you want. I respect that. But I can only tell you how the Creator. Remember in the beginning what it talks about? The Spirit of the Lord hovered through the universe. It was dark. That light, the Spirit, it was words that came out that Spirit. It was words. So God is his word. Fix it and play with it any way you want. So no matter what you studying, what you reading, as many Bibles out there we already know that's been written over and over and over. And Steve threw me in this area, y'all. Kidney nurse Steve threw me in this area over there picking with me. That's the same guy that called me on his talk show and called me the most controversial man in Baltimore City. And I love it, Steve. I love it because you know I go. I don't play. Steve called me the most controversial man in Baltimore City. I was like, yes, and loving it. The first person came to my mind, Steve, after you said that was Maxwell Smart. And loving it. Because my thing is, family, just to let y'all know, and Steve can tell you himself, I don't take no crap. All right? Because what I learned in fighting and doing the things that I do with other organizations in Baltimore City. And when I say I, stop looking at it as like a me thing. But when I say I, what I have to understand is when we use this term, many are called, but few are chosen. I normally say many are called, but few obey that calling. A lot of people know they have a calling on their life, and they will not submit to that calling. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you don't submit to that calling, your life going to be uncomfortable. It wasn't until I became obedient. Now listen to what I said. It wasn't until I became obedient to the calling. So I had to humble myself and become obedient to what God called me to do. When I sit here and I tell y'all, I got ordained deacon in 2009. That was just the title that I was given by the church. But I know deep in my heart, deep in my spirit, deep in my soul, I am a minister. I am a warrior in the body of Christ. My mouth is my biggest weapon for the body of Christ. Mainly when I know we have people that's trying to use us towards their advantage. So when you look at your billionaires, when you look at your politicians, when you look at how the elite club, that's your system. That's your system. Tends to enslave and oppress the people. And they're not all black. That's your bull crap. When you come up here, the white man this and the white man that, you got black billionaires. You got what's those other people? his Hebrews and Israelites, and look at all these billionaires we got around the world as a whole. They have to pay taxes on that money, which causes them a lot of money. So what they do, they create programs so they can get you to work basically for them for free. That's what slavery is, cheap labor. Go back to 1619. They already had farm hands here working, but they had to pay them a certain amount. So they figured if they went over to Africa and brought people back, they can pay them a lot less, basically for free. Just clothe them and feed them. So you want to go into your history, understand your history. Go back to when the Israelites, go back to the beginning, where Exodus, when Pharaoh and them tried to enslave the people. Cheap labor. Then it started repeating itself. When Pharaoh gave the midwives, right? Told the midwives, all the firstborn sons, take them out, unalive them. Look what's happening here now. You're black males, basically. It's repeating itself. Pay attention to what's going on. But guess what? Because God has opened up my eyes, right? He started allowing me to see what's really going on. Not just me, it's a lot of us. It's his chosen people. So now, once he opened up your eyes to let you see what has actually happened, are you going to just sit still, or are you going to go back and try to help or warn the people? That's what people like myself do. That's why I come on here. I sent 5 videos yesterday over to TikTok. Every last one of them, they sent me a message back and said, not approved, not approved, not approved. So I'm on there dealing with TikTok. So guess what? They opened them up. Because what I have to tell them, y'all keep doing this. I told y'all I'm a community activist. So yes, the goal is to follow your community guidelines. My goal is to educate and empower our people. This is what I had to send to TikTok. And you looking right in my face. On YouTube, on Facebook too. The same way they don't want us to talk deep about religion. They don't want us to talk about politics. The whole thing is y'all don't want us to educate the people. And to be honest, TikTok is making me think that you want people to stay in the spaces that they are in. Y'all set this thing up. Some of us already know what's going on. Some of the stuff we already know is not going to stop, but we can slow it down. That's the point. And a lot of y'all don't realize, right? It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot to speak against the system. It takes a lot. That's why when y'all say certain things, I go back and I do this in the community and I do that in the community. And be honest with you, I am, because I'm in the community. Look at my truck, strengthen the community. What happened? I'm into the community with other people. Do not get it wrong. Where we're coming up with solutions towards the issues or the crisis that's happening in the community. Me, Archie, Joyce, it was a lot of us fought to get the plane here in Baltimore City to slow down the pew rate, the unalive rate, to slow it down in Baltimore City. The goal was to set it up here first, and then once it became successful, was to go to other cities and do the same. But our politicians shut it down. So then that goes to show me when your politicians come up against things that you're trying to do to slow it down, just like with the fentanyl. Excuse me. I've been hearing other people say it, TikTok, and I've been trying not to use the word. But I've been seeing other people talking about it, right? Which is taking people out. So we came up with a bill where they can go somewhere and actually use, right? And if their stuff is laced with that, stuff to take them out, it's a team there of professionals like doctors and nurses and stuff to bring them back. I didn't at first because I'm clean. So I don't approve of the using part, but understand, it's not about judging nobody, but it's about helping them. So I told my director at that time, I said, okay, I'll help y'all get that bill passed. So the bill got to Congress, and Congress rejected the bill. So the only thing came to my mind after that, they just want people to be unalive. So if you have like 300 back in 2017, 343 unalives by pews. About 900 and something with the with the other stuff. Now it has slowed down some. When I read into it this time, it was like 600 and something. Alive. I'm trying to meet up with Cal Ripken. I'm trying to meet up with Cal Ripken because I want him to invest some money into the housing program. I know somebody that works for him. Matter of fact, my grandkid's grandmother worked for Cal Ripken. And those the people alive that I try to Ripken, yep. And he got a stadium and all that, right? So when me and her talked, I was like, can you introduce me? Because those the people, yeah. Those the people alive I try to reach out to mainly for the housing program that help support, investors, philanthropists. And I'm gonna tell you somebody else. I might get them mixed up with Amazon, Under Armour, Under Armour. Yeah. And my grandmother, she white, so they mix. But she works for Cal Ripken. She works at, I believe, the stadium. And I was telling her that I would like to meet him. The Carly Group, thanks. I'm gonna tell you somebody else that Ed Hale. Since you mentioned that name, I know you're familiar with Ed Hale too, right? from Baltimore. Why? Because you putting John Hopkins, you're not the guy to be doing the lives at John Hopkins, right? Are you the guy that be doing the historical lives? That's part of John Hopkins? Okay, you know what I'm talking about? Because I be following him too. See, people like that alive, I ain't lying. I'm trying to meet. I'm trying to meet. I'm Kevin Plank, Ed Hale, the Padarakis. You know, John Padarakis helped build up a lot down in the harbor. He passed away now, but that's the one that has the bread company here in Baltimore City. But I talked with the son. I know. Matter of fact, with my other phone. Hey, alive. I ain't no joke, bro. Wait a minute. I was told to reach out to. Wait a minute. Let me see. Can I bring it up? Make it bigger. God dang it. Come on. Let me see. I might have to go to my picture, but I think this guy they told me to reach out to. Dr. Humphrey. Oh my God. Since you mentioned John Hopkins, I'm trying to think of his name. It's Dr. God dang it, his name right on the tip of my tongue. Alive. His name on the tip of my tongue. A white guy. He's with We Hours Us. And Dr. Humphrey used to work with them too, because we had meetings over at John Hopkins in that building. They're building a new building now. Dr. Leaf. Dr. Leaf. Have you heard of him? He do a lot of work with John Hopkins too. Dr. Leaf, Dr. Humphrey. But I'm trying to get this name because this was sent to me to connect with this guy because of the stuff that I do with the homeless people. And he can help them get their IDs and stuff like that. Wait a minute, because I made I screenshot it. One of my partners, Kevin Snowden, he does like rooms too, right? Rooms for Hey Celeste. Come on, I got it on here. It's like every time you want to go straight to something, here you go. I just say you can't find it. All right, he's at the this one right here is at the University of Maryland. But this is community case manager services. This guy want to meet me because by me dealing with the homeless people and everything, right? He can help them, get their IDs and stuff like that. And I was reading it and everything, right? It said services include job placement, vocational training, and expunge clinics. See, these are the people. Alive, stop. Quite easy. That's my boy. Quaisi, my boy alive. Look, I'm 63, right? And I know Quaisi in his 70s, right? So, because I remember him back doing Perry Mitchell and all them days, right? So when I seen him one day alive, they both, wait, oh, but look, alive. When I seen Quaisi one day, right, I was picking with him. I said, come here. I said, now I know you older than me, right? Alive. I told him I asked him what type of dye do he use because he don't have no gray. He bust out laughing. I'm like, shit, I know he's not 80. I don't think he's 80 yet, but god darn, he up there somewhere alive. But he bust out laughing. I said, then look, I know I've been seeing you around since I was a little younger, right? Doing them Perry J. Mitchell times, right? So I had to ask him, I'm like, what type of dye do you use? Because I use Beijing 47. And he bust out laughing, man. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I pick with him every time I see him. Brandon Scott, Ivan Bates. I helped Ivan Bates twice. When he first ran for state's attorney, and the second time he ran and won. It's a lot of people, rather Democrats or Republicans, I know in Baltimore City a lot. M. Scott Phillips. I'm trying to see where he located. Because a lot of them alive, like when you putting up names, I'm trying to which district? I probably do know him or seen him. So I'm assuming because you pointing out east, he must be over east for the House of Representatives. Because you know Quaisi is in the 7th district. Then you got Antonio Hayes for Senate, for the senator for the 7th district. Then you got James Torrance, which is he's okay. So basically, he's over there with and Antonio Glover gonna get me. He over there near where basically Antonio Glover at. Somewhere along that line. If not Antonio Glover, Stokes, Robert Stokes. Now I don't know if he's still in politics, but the 10th district, that's over near John Hopkins, right? Somewhere along that line. I probably know him if I see him. But yeah, because of what I do as a like community activist, community organizer, and during this time, I'm still with them, but I just haven't been able to go and support them for the last 2 years because of what happened to me a while back. It's just getting back into certain things. Man, you was throwing some names. You throwing some names. Benjamin Akon. I was gonna say I might jack the name up though. You throwing some names. Yeah, stop. You got my brain over here going. Cause look, you putting up names, and I'm trying to look at the faces. You know how we do? We try to you get a name, you try to put the face with the name. Man, you better stop that because you got my mind going. But yeah, because of the work, Alive, you get to meet, and that's what I was trying to tell people. Baltimore is a relevant place. Yeah, city, yeah. A lot of people don't realize too, Alive, it's a lot of great and wonderful things that's going on in Baltimore City. Some beautiful stuff. And sometimes when I ride through the inner city myself, and knowing that they kind of put it in the spotlight, it'd be so quiet and peaceful in certain areas. And and then you be like, well, it's not as bad as they try to make it look. But news is news. News is news. Like Mackenzie Frost, that's my baby. What's his name? Julian. The last time I reached out to him, he had told me he left Fox 45. So I was called to come out at the I'm not messing with you, Alive. He said the media ain't our friend. I ain't messing with you, Alive. Cause I'm gonna tell you, when them two polices came together and locked my ass up, I had called Mackenzie Frost before I got locked up, right? And I said, Mackenzie, I need your help, blah, 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 because of the Eastern District polices that was coming for me. And she said, okay, I'll look into it. Now I'm gone, right? She didn't know I was gone for like 11 months. But once I came home, I started calling her, Ivan Bates, a lot of them, right? To basically let them know what happened to my black tail. But look, I was reaching out to Mackenzie. That's why I started laughing, because you said the media ain't our friend. I was reaching out to Mackenzie because I know Mackenzie will dig for dirt on your ass. And I wanted Mackenzie to sock it to him. I ain't lying, Alive. I ain't lying. When you said the media ain't our friend, I thought about Mackenzie. I was like, Mackenzie, I need you to get him. I'm not messing with you. Because I know Mackenzie will dig for dirt on your butt. Oh my God, Alan, I ain't messing with you, Alive. I'm not messing with you. I'm telling you. Certain people, like Mackenzie, Mackenzie will dig for dirt on your butt. She ain't no joke. I told Brandon Scott one time, I said, you better leave my baby alone, because he was going for it, right? I said, you better leave my baby alone, because Mackenzie will dig for the dirt. Alive, you got my stomach hurting over here. Because he ain't lying. He ain't lying. And I'm going to tell you this too. St. Clair Broadcasting, the owner, I think they part of the Patarakis too. The Patarakis family. I don't know if it's like a nephew or grandson, something along that line. But I believe they are part of the Patarakis family. And you know, H&S Bakery here in Baltimore City, they the ones that basically do all the baking of the breads and stuff like that. And I remember when John Padarakis, when I would see him get out of his car and walk in the building, right? And I know his son, Chuck Padarakis, and I reached out to him and I said, man, I need your help. Because your father did a lot of work building up in the harbor and everything back during Mayor Schaefer time, right? So Carl Nelson, WOLB. You know, man, Archie had a talk show on there too, where we was talking about the plane. So I got to meet a lot of them up there too, Alive, at WOL 1010. Christina Flowers, she does her show on there. Mark does his show on there. Me and Archie was doing our show on there, but we was promoting the spy plane for Baltimore City. And eventually, as time go on, how people just kind of separate and stuff. But WOLB, yeah. And I don't know if this other guy's still up there. You said the Carl Nelson show. So I know you're familiar with Larry Young and all that. I know you're very familiar with that. Damn, man. Alive. You got me looking at myself, man. I done a lot of... Okay. I done done a lot of stuff around Baltimore City. And look, I ain't talking about just me, right? I'm talking about like the organizations that I ended up joining to fight a lot of the issues that's going on here. Man, you got God damn. Yeah. Governor Hogan, when that plane came, you know the Arnolds, John and Laurel Arnolds was supporting it. Man, you taking me back down memory lane, man. You got, oh my God. You got me over here, remember, looking at a lot of, man, I didn't move. A lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. And I'm talking about like working with people to help reduce the crisis in Baltimore City. A lot of them, man. People at John Hopkins. Yeah. But you got me going back, man. Yep. I'm trying to make sure I get his name right. William Armstrong, or Armstrong Williams, I'm sorry. Armstrong Williams from New York. He came up here some years ago, and it was talking about a city in crisis. It was talking about Baltimore City. So a lot of the pastors and business owners, we all met over off of Urban Avenue at that center over there. And Armstrong Williams did the show. And I spoke in that show as well, right? Because I was talking about where it's coming from. And it's coming from up top. Yup, democracy in crisis. And see, that's what Communities United is all about. I call them the baby branch of the NAACP, right? Because what they do, they fight for the democracy of Black people in the inner city. This is what made me join them, because they fight for their rights, their civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. So that's why I became part of Communities United. And then I was a board member there for almost 2 years. So I ended up joining the ACLU. But if Communities United is doing something and they need my support, I have no problem in, supporting them for whatever issues that might affect our people in the inner city, the poor communities. And that's what I'm about. It's about helping our people that need help the most. So the stuff that's going on with the SNAP, the stuff that's going on with Trump and his administration, the orange man and his administration wanting to cut these programs out and want to cut programs out for people that need their help the most. I'm gonna try to remember, because I thought you was gonna say Andre Bundy. I'm gonna try to remember that name and everything. Because 9 times out of 10, when I do my little 2-minute skits, it'll be up there. But people like that, once I meet them, right, and they say that they part of Baltimore's Gamma Bully, something like that, right? I'll be like, oh my God, somebody was mentioning you. That's normally what I do. Because look, like you said, I'm learning too. I'm learning a lot too. And since the orange man been in the office, and it's not him. It's not him. It's not him. I'm a little disappointed with Congress because they are the ones that create the policies and all that type of stuff. Okay, thanks. Thanks for cleaning it up. All right, he became a judge on the District Court of Maryland. Okay. Not, I was getting ready to say not the Supreme Court, right? Congress. All right, I see how you kind of separated that. Don't do that, because you got my mind gone somewhere else, because you put con, then you put gress, right? Making me think this. Because a lot of them. I told my lawyer, right, because I ain't like the way my public defender was trying to work with me, right? Because the charges and all of that in the police report didn't even go together live. So I didn't think they was going to let it prolong that, stretch it out that long. All right, I got you. Remember what I just said? I was trying to watch it. Because, a lot of them, wait a minute, a lot of them are just who they are. And know what? Be honest. I don't want to be tied too close to them, right? Because I don't like, if you're doing certain things and you make it consistent, rather than gaining a little something and backing up, eventually you're going to get caught. They're going to get caught. Secret society. And you know what I respect with that? Alive, the secret societies running the cities. What I respect with that, you do what you do to make your money. You know what I mean? If you're a sellout and that's how you get paid, do what you do. Only thing I ask, please don't come too close to me with it. Because I don't want nobody to ever think I'm tied up with certain people like that. I was offered $1 million to shut my mouth. What's up with Floyd? I've been watching stuff with him. What's up with him? Because I think he's been investing in communities. But what's up with him? I heard him speak about something, but I think he was talking more about Israel. I didn't pay a lot of attention, but I noticed he was speaking out about, if I'm not mistaken, he was talking about Israel. Okay, that's what it was. I'm gonna tell you this, Alive. I'm very disappointed in the Republican Party. I am very, very, very. When I found out that the Democrats, right, was running the city into the hole, I got depressed and I backed up. So I'm right here. Then It was 9 people in Baltimore City that ran on the Republican ticket for the first time in history. Oh, that's what it was. So basically, financially, he gonna support him. And you know what? By you just saying that, you know the first person came to mind once you said that? Kirk. KC. I mean CK. The moment you said that, he popped right in my head. I'm gonna tell you when I'm gonna say Kirk, right? When that happened to him, I was gonna come on my live. Something said no. No. And because of what happened, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to him, but I started looking at some of his stuff and I understood how he was recruited. And it's deeper than a lot of us realize. But then when I heard he made comments about that foul too, I was like, wow. And a lot of that alive reminded me of what happened before. It seems it was so similar towards, I was like, wow. So for some reason, I didn't come on here. And I'm going to say this, I thank God. Yep. Yep. And during that time, like what you saying, recruited, enlisted, a lot of people don't understand the game. They don't understand the game. And me and somebody that's a fan of the orange guy, right? And I became a Republican alive. I became a Republican because they made me think that they was coming into the inner city and help people improve their lives, right? Because basically that's where I'm at. They was feeding me all this bull junk. So I became a Republican because it's about the people. And that's what I was telling them. It's about the people. When I found out, man, look, they ain't doing shit. Excuse my language, bro. I'm like, where y'all at? Y'all told me y'all was going to do this. Y'all going to do that. Y'all going to help build. And, where you at? And I'm going to tell you, the ones that I know right now, I be laying their tails out. Then I be like, I love you, right? But y'all some fake, phony, blah, blah. They know Steve don't play a lot. They know I don't play. But look, they some partying people too. I can tell you that much. They love having functions and bonfires and all that type of stuff. But their goal, and I'm going to tell you exactly what Trump is doing, is to help people to become more independent. But they don't have programs set up like we do to catch them. So all the laws that they creating, like the cut SNAP and all of that, now you got cities going into their emergency funds to pay places like Maryland Food Bank and all of that to make sure people still be able to get food. Because when they did that, you see my truck right there, right? When they did that, I'm like, wow, I know about 3 farms that's around in Maryland. So my goal is to see how much they're charged for their totes, their pallets, right? Trump is so-called reshaping society. You ain't lying. And I'm gonna tell you what they doing, what he's doing. He's leaving a lot of people to struggle even more. But if you don't have, like, I'm gonna just say with my housing program, right? Because the goal is to help them get into apprenticeship programs. Whether they want to do, say, HVAC, electricity, plumbing, cooking, trucking, heavy duty equipment, nursing, all of that. And I'm looking at the women too for where they can make enough money, where they won't have to rely on state funding. Now, what I'm looking at too, Alive, when you have some of them with like about 5 kids, I got to use that as an example. They might need some food stamps to help them a little bit to feed the kids. No matter, and I'm talking about a mother who don't have that man there. Because the goal is to help them to be more independent. This is what they was talking about. But my thing is, what type of programs do y'all have in the inner city to help them? Other than what I'm doing. So my thing is, come and support me in helping them. It ain't about Trump. A lot of them is so crazy about Trump. And this with me and what Donald was arguing about the other day. He gonna send me a message. Don't send me no message on your bull crap. I'm not pressed about Trump. My thing is the people. I don't care if you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. It's about the people. You said it's not about you. But you know what? I found too, right. I got you. Okay, I got you. It's not. And be honest, that's the thing. When I started studying up on the 3 branches of government, and by right, he have a tendency. And now that the Republicans head up the Senate, the Congress, and all that, right? The representative, they hit it up, right? So they basically fulfilling his dreams. So when I heard a friend of mine talking about the other day, food stamps got to go, and I'm like, don't do that. I mean, it's to help people start working and be more independent. But if y'all don't have programs set up where you can help that mother, and you got some fathers too that's looking for that the food stamps to help them with their children. I'm like, do you realize the children gonna suffer? And they was on Lady J's show talking about this, and I was trying to get up there because I was gonna lay Chris ass out. And then tell him, lady, you know I love you, boy. But he's a Donald Trump heart fan. A lot of them. Donald Trump fans. I'm like, y'all are ooh. So and then on top of that, he's supposed to be a minister. I'm like, you don't come on, if you know Christ's mission, it's about helping the less fortunate. To me, he's going against everything. Basically, the Bible teaches us. Walking in their footsteps. Because he crazy as heck. A lot of them. I can't understand it. I can't see how you can't. To me, I can't see how they can't see it. And I'm going to tell you, when I was with ACN some years and years ago, right, Trump was one of our top speakers. The moment he opened up his mouth, I said, oh my God. I said, he's part of the mafia. And see, real, no real. Real, no real. And what I said about that too after that Alive, I watched the way he do things. I said, he is good at that shit, like manipulating and lying to the people. Right in their face, and they suck it right up. I said, he is good at playing the people. And a lot of us, we see the game. He's a master manipulator. He is. He good. I said, God damn. I see how he play people, how he throw hints. If you do this, if you do that, I take. I'm like, oh my God. And that's what I was telling Donald. He gonna sit back and say something about me saying I hate Trump. I never said I hated Trump. I said, don't play with my words. Don't manipulate my words to fit your narrative. I don't dislike this man. I just see he's good at what he do. And as a person that used to live that hustling lifestyle, I see the same behavior. I'm like, damn. And I think that's why a lot of our black young hustlers like him, because they see it. They see him for who he is. It's like them. Oh, he good at what he do, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you try to do what he did. Try to do what he did. And I guarantee you be behind bars. I said if they had put him on home monitor, he wouldn't have never stayed in the house. He wouldn't have stayed in the house. Shit, they put me on home monitor for 13 months, me and Marilyn Mosby. Marilyn Mosby was on home monitor. I was on home monitor. I came off home monitor. Now Marilyn Mosby out there now. She's off home monitor. She was on that she did that Alive thing the other day. I'm trying to think of his name. Hey baby, common sense. Dang, I'm trying to think of the name. She did a cause she like putting herself back together, right? Putting her life back together. I'm so proud of her too. I told Marilyn Mosby when I finally met her at Live, I told Marilyn Mosby, I said, you got more, you got bigger balls than a lot of these men. When it came down to the Freddie thing. She did her best. Nobody backed her up. And they knew they was wrong for what they did. But with nobody back her. And then they went into her personal business. And everybody's sitting up there saying, that don't make no sense. She done did this, she did that. You got money in your 401k. You can borrow your money. You got money into your retirement plan. You can borrow your own money. So a lot of y'all was acting dumb as hell, right? Because that was her personal stuff. Man, thanks, man. Look, I'm going to tell you right now. I already know I'm going to post about 5, right? And then I'm going to look over in the section where TikTok will say, you posted too many videos. You post too much. I'm telling you. Look, watch. I go over to to the system notification. I'm like, all right, let me see what they got right now. But once they post something and it says, like right now, it said my appeal wasn't approved, right? But once I see my numbers going up, I know they let it go through. But what they saying, I can't get credit for it. I ain't trying to get credit. as far as, you know, little sense or something like that, I'm not worried about that. My thing is, when I come on, is to promote the business and advertise, promote the business, and just talk about, you know, how here in Baltimore City, how what we're doing to build back up in the community, because it's other cities and it's other people that needs to hear stuff like this. Might want to start a LLC. Might want to see how they can apply for grant money. Salem. So the goal is to point them in the right direction. That's why I come on. People say stuff about, oh, you loud, oh, you this, oh, you that. You damn right I'm loud. Don't take me personal. It's just, look, I'll start off like this. Then I go, pew. I'm like, God, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go on here, right? Because it's supposed to be from 2. Wait a minute. Oh, I can say, I've been on here for almost 2 hours. But look, the goal was to go on. And I said every time I'm going to go on, I'm going to talk from 2 to 2:45 or 4 to 4:45. It turned out to be 3 or 4 hours. But once I get this studio production team together, right, they're going to have to make sure it starts on time and it ends on time. They're going to have to shut me down. Like, I'm telling you, they're going to have to shut me down. Might throw eggs at me or something. Steve, let me tell you, stick to your regular time. Now, once I'm looking at my studio.restream.io. This is the broadcast network. It's called the Couch Conversation on Restream, right? No, I changed the name. It's the Couch Talk, but I always say Couch Conversation Show. So this is my Restream, what I'm looking at with my iPad, right? And I got to get my laptop because I will stream from the laptop, but I'm using my iPad right now. And it's Restream Broadcast Network. And not only that, I was trying to do TV as well, right? But now, mind you, I'm doing all of this myself. So I'm learning as I go alive. That's why I need a team to actually set it up for me. And because I'm streaming on here, this makes number 7. I'm streaming on 6 platforms over here. All together, I'm doing 7. From my iPhone, from my iPad. So in Baltimore City, not just Baltimore City, I know I'm seen around the world. I was already told about that. So I was told don't pay a lot of attention to the viewers because you're being seen all over. See, I'm on my Facebook Live. And what I'll do, some people, because I'm real boisterous, right? Boisterous. Some people, right, what they tend to do, because I'm just straightforward. And I know it scares a lot of people because I'm open. But what I learned in this process of life, because I used to call names out, I didn't realize that was defamation of character too. Like putting certain situations that's going on in Baltimore City, and I put Brandon Scott in with it, or I put Ivan Bates in with it. It's not that you can't talk about the situation, but don't call their names. So I learned that because you can get sued, right, for defamation of character. Not realizing it. So I had to learn not to call names when I talk about certain things. But over the years, alive, like Brandon Scott, I call him my nephew, you know, because I remember when he used to no, I had to stop. I remember when he used to run around the Park Heights as a kid, right? Little kid. So when I see him, I'll pick with my grab and I hug him. I'll be like, "What's up, nephew?" Antonio Hayes. "What's up, nephew?" James Torrance. "What's up, nephew?" They in the 7th district. Kwaisi. "What type of dye you?" Stop alive. Stop playing. Kwaisi. "What type of life?" But look, I was helping Kim Klacik, right? And her, when she was running for Congress on the Republican ticket, I was helping her. The moment I seen Kwaisi, I said, she ain't gonna get in. I said, she ain't gonna get in. She was promoting like crazy, man. But the moment I seen Kwaisi, I said, she ain't gonna get it. Because you know they put there who they want there. I'm telling you. Even with Brandon Scott, Sheila Dixon was in #1 place. Will Handy said, "You know how." I said, "Okay." The game. The game. Same with Trump. The moment I seen Elon Musk, I knew what time it was for Kamala. The moment Elon Musk came on the scene, I knew what time it was. And it was a statement put out that Elon Musk supposed to put out. Don Lemon put it out, right? About him saying something. "Hey, cutie. See, when you into when you in it, when you in it, oh, I'm doing good, cutie. I'm doing good. When you in it, and I'm talking about if you want to talk about church, we can talk about the church. When you in politics, we can talk about politics. When you in it and you seeing things for yourself. When I say in it, I'm talking about being involved. As a community, look, as a community activist, as a community organizer, as a community outreach coordinator. Now, all of this, I'm saying community. When you in it to try to rebuild, and you got to get involved with your politics. Shuns. Y'all ain't got to like each other. But the point is, you get to know who's who. You get me? I'm telling you. And over the years, cutie, I'm telling you, I'm messing with Alive, right? But over the years I've been doing this, I know a lot on both sides of the game. Retired OGs that used to be in the game, made good money, been to prison, all that stuff. Home now. I grew up hearing about. Family meet them. Family meet them. Now they doing some great things to help, turn people's lives around. I'm proud of them. I'm really proud of them. Because they doing some great work out there. We, ours, us. Safe streets. Safe streets. A bunch of returning citizens. They hired to go back out in the streets. I didn't know that program was Governor Westmore's program. We, ours, us. Safe streets. Recovering addicts. Or recovering, from that lifestyle. I'm trying to watch my words for TikTok. So because I came from that lifestyle, right? And I shared this the other day. God delivered me from that lifestyle. Hey, what's up, hood? God delivered me from that lifestyle, right? 32 years. January the 26th will be 33 years since I've been out of that. What the freak I look like? I see, bro. I ain't seen you in a while. What I look like being pulled out of that lifestyle and not going back to help the people that wants to help or need the help. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. Sometimes I get scared because I know what can happen to me. And it's not the ones that's on the corners that I worry about as much. It's the ones that don't want to see change for them. And I accept the fact. I don't care what nobody say. I accept the fact. One day I'm going to go anyway. I already know that. But God damn it, when it comes to our people, they know Big Steve don't play. They know Unc don't play. Come on. And I got to respect them for where they at too. Because everybody have a job to do. Rather, your job is to keep them enslaved and oppressed. Then you got people like myself that want to help break that cycle. But you got to want to change. Thanks, cutie. You have to want to change. And to me, right, mainly our younger ones, right, it's like they my children. They my children. They not, but they my children. And I want the best for them. Just like we was able to provide the best for my son, my daughters, my family, my wife, my ex-wife. I'm looking at her brothers. I'm looking at her sisters. I was looking at them from when they was younger. They got houses. They got great jobs. They doing great things. And I'm talking about my ex-wife family. She raised them just like I raised mine. All of us was in the house together. So when I hear a lot of y'all now come on here and talk about black men this, black men that, women this, women that, talk about the ones you allow in your life. Stop putting all men in that category. And 9 times out of 10, when you do it, I know you got some serious stuff here going. I know you do. As a person that sponsors men and women, I deal with that to help them turn their thinking around. So when I hear people that stuck here, thanks, Mr. Humble. Wait a minute. Oh man. That's the sign that's on my white box truck. And Mr. Humble is in Philly, right? And he goes back out into the community as well. And I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of him. I'm going to say this, brother. I believe you got a special calling on your life. Same way God called me. You got a calling on your life. And not just that, right? I watch you bring your family in. And y'all was over there cooking to go back. And I don't want to mix you up with Hood, too. I don't want to mix you up with Hood Jack. Because Hood does the same things, too, right? And I'm proud of y'all. I'm proud of both of y'all. Y'all make an old, I can say old nigga. Look, I was getting ready to say old, but y'all make, look, I'm getting ready to go there. Y'all make me feel proud. I'm telling y'all, because I know the work that it takes to do what we do. And I know the obstacles y'all going to come up against for doing what you do. I already know that because I seen what's happening with me, right? Now, both of y'all know that Strengthening Community is my LLC. The Latanya D. Copeland House of Hope is my housing program. I mainly work with women and children. And the goal is to help turn the quality of their lives around, because when you got women, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more, children, trying to raise them by themselves, the goal is to help them to become more independent where they can financially take care of their children. This is what the program is designed for. Mainly women and children. But I work with men and I work with women too. I work with veterans. I work with people that's disabled, because that's why you have to have information. You got to have information where you can call people and say, hey, can you house this one? Can you work with that one? Can you do this? Can you do that? That's why I try to at least have 5 numbers of different organizations. Mainly when it comes to the women with children. Individuals is more easier sometimes to move forward. But it's the women with children. Because sometimes they need daycare in order for them to go and work. So now you have to find programs that will work with them that really daycare, where they get paid by the government. So the mother won't have to come out of her pocket that much. Now, I'm just saying this to some of y'all brothers that's proud of your wing, and you want to brag about having 7 and 20 kids out there. Hey, that's a lot of freaking money. That's a lot of money. So I know if you got about 7 kids and if you're not making a good amount of money, children can be very, very expensive. One. Because mines don't play. Lil Steve, 22 years old. His goal is to be a professional soccer player. His cleats run about $300. I'm trying to get him to go to Sports Authority and all that, where we can pay $40, $60 for some cleats, right? No, Dad. Because his legs is worth millions. So it's certain cleats he get, and they can run. And when he called me, he'll let me know at least a couple of weeks ahead of time. Dad, can you give me such and such and such to get some, at least say like at the end of the month, for an example, right? First thing come to my mind, I'll be like, nope. But I'm like, okay. My daughters. They know when they need a certain amount, they got to let me know a couple of weeks ahead of time. Don't surprise me overnight. Now, I'll do it if I got it like that, right? I'm going to do it. That's not a problem. But the thing is, they know to prepare me when it's over a certain amount. Because be honest, personally, I don't carry money on me. I don't do it. Every time I did carry money, I came home broke. I gave it up. Which I probably would, take about 100 out if I start walking like that again. But then I pass out, certain things. But now, with the housing program, family, normally when somebody call me, they think they're calling a shelter, but they're not calling a shelter. What's up, nephew? Whoa! Would you? Shay, you said my great aunt had 22, my great grandma had 11, and her sister had 14. Children cost. Wait a minute. He said children cost when living outside of our means. You know what, O'Shea? I said I wanted 10 kids. I said I wanted 10 kids, right? Now I'm gonna show you how God plays. I have 3 biological. But now, mind you, I raised 3 of my nephews. I raised 3 of my sister kids. The oldest one is 45 now. And the other 2, and I did foster care with them. So I got my own 3, that goes 6, right? Then I have 2 stepdaughters. So that's 8. Then I had my little cousin. That was 9. That was God's way. Look, that was his way of putting them in my life, right? But basically what I'm saying, O'Shea, what you put right there, kids can be real expensive to take care of. Because you want that. Wait a minute, stop. He said 1 pair of shoes went down the line. He ain't lying. You ain't lying. Don't be having me up here thinking about the little $1.99 fish heads. They make your feet feel fine. You better not, O'Shea. Don't have me. Don't have me up here. Fish heads. But look, my daughter. Wait a minute, my slipper's over there. My daughter, my youngest daughter, her slippers cost about $100-something. I'm like, huh? And I only paid like 10 or 11 for these. My daughter paid $500 a month, O'Shea, for her car. My daughter went to the Mercedes dealers, right? Said, Dad, I want you to, hook up, come nice. I'm there. O'Shea said, you prove my point. I'm telling you. But look, O'Shea, I did not know. My daughter wanted this Mercedes, a certain Mercedes. The payment would have been $1,000 a month. I looked at her, I'm like, huh? I ain't lying. I'm glad. I'm glad she didn't get it. Nice. But I didn't know, O'Shea, that payment was going to be $1,000. She had calculated, added everything up, right? But she wanted that goddamn car. But I didn't know that it would have made her payment each month doubled. But that's how my baby girl is. She's spoiled as hell, O'Shea. She's spoiled as hell. And I be telling her, look what your father did. Let me turn this light on. She's spoiled. I'm telling you. And the good part about that, right? Her boyfriend, both of them, be honest, both of them spoil each other. Both of them. Her and her boyfriend. When they was both in what's that, like boarding school together, and they've been together ever since then. You know, I think it was like 17, 18, and they 24 now. So they've been together ever since then, and I'm really really proud of her. And I asked her one day, O'Shea, I was like, when you gonna make me grandfather? She said, once she get everything straight the way she want. I'm proud of her. So she working at a law firm. She just went to another one because she's getting ready to sign up at the University of Maryland to get her law degree license, right? Certificate. So she knows she want to work a certain amount of hours and then do what she got to do for school. And I'm proud of her. I'm just supporting her because she already know what she need to do and how to get it done. The same way with little Steve. He's 22, and he plays for a couple of soccer teams, right? He plays, and what people have a tendency of doing, they'll call him if they want to win a championship, and they get him to come and play with them to help them win, right? And I told little Steve, start charging him. Start charging him. But his heart is not there with that. But my thing is, because my mind is business, charge him. I was going to buy some cheap tennis, O'Shea. I was going to buy some cheap cleats and put his number on it. His number was 14 and sell them for like 100 and something hours. He was like, no, Dad. I said, why? He said, because I ain't a professional yet. And mind you, he was young, girl. I'm trying to promote you. I'm trying to bring us some money in. I'm like them two boys' father did them. I'm looking for a FIFA agent. Because my son, 15 years old, he can play at that time. He can play professional over, Amsterdam and all of that, them foreign places at that young age. So I'm trying to get him out there. He was like, no, Dad. I said, why? I ain't professional yet. Damn. Then right? I'm trying to jump him through past college and all that stuff. Because he got to get some college under his belt. Stuff like that too. I'm like, Steve, but guess what? That's his vision. That's his dream. And the only thing we can do is just support him. So I'm proud of my son, y'all. I'm very, very proud of my son. I grew up without a father, right? And I tell my son, I said, man, you my hero. I tell my son that. I'm so freaking proud of my son. I'm proud of my son. He is nothing. And I'm talking about the behavior-wise, that crut ball, trying to be slicky woo-woo and, all of that. He's nothing like that. And I'm going to tell y'all, I did not glamorize or promote that type of behavior with my son. Boy, you need to do this. You need to do that. No. I love the relationship he had with his mother. And that's the same way in his sisters. That's the same way I want him to treat his girlfriend. And I'm going to tell you, they have a wonderful relationship. And she YT. Y'all might sit back and look at it and try to separate it. White people did black people, blah, 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 blah. No, I see a human being who loves my son and had my son's best interests. Y'all the one want to make it so political. I see human beings. When I see my nieces and my nephews that's biracial, I see human beings. I want people to be able to find peace within themselves. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to embrace yourself. Unfortunately, those type of people aren't in control, or do they make the laws? Now, I ain't talking about O'Shea. I ain't talking about them. Because I'm going to tell y'all now, right? Thanks for posting that, O'Shea. When it comes to politics, right? If they create any laws that tends to hurt the poor people, like what Trump doing right now, or the orange man doing right now, when they create any laws that tends to hurt the people that need that assistance or that help the most, the organizations that I'm with and the people that I work with, O'Shea, we coming for your ass. Take it serious. That's why I said it the way I just did. We coming for your ass. We coming for that bill, right? Because what we have to do, look what Trump did with Snap. I'm trying to watch his name because I don't want TikTok. But look what he's trying to do with Snap, right? Look what he's trying to do with Medicaid, right? People that needs the state and government assistance the most, like people on SSI or SSDI, that's the money that you worked for. But I'm gonna just say SSI, right? Need medical assistance, stuff like that. They are considered as disabled. And it's not to say the ones on SSI can't work a little bit, right? But they are considered as disabled. All right, O'Shea, they are considered as disabled, right? So they need the help. So why is you getting to the point, right? People paying their taxes. You paying state and federal taxes. That money goes back into areas with the people that need their help the most. But now you talking about cutting these programs. So what that's going to do for a lot of people, they're going to even suffer. Some of them are going to fall short anyway. So with my housing program or with the people that I'm associated with, now if somebody, not if, I don't like talking in past tense, but when somebody call me, right, and if I can't provide certain services for them, then I got to make phone calls for them. Come on, O'Shea.
Yeah, but when I'm listening to you, I'm just saying, I think you got to be more optimistic. And I'm just letting you know like this. Every time people do that, I just look at when the brown man was in office, right? Now, let's just talk about it. If the brown man was in office and he did everything he was supposed to do, that would have meant that he would have ended a lot of those programs that made our people become comfortable, okay? Yes, they're here to help people, but they was not created for us. Go to the beginning. Stop picking stuff out of the middle. We got to stop doing that. I'm telling you, stop picking stuff out of the middle. Relationship starts when it's created. They created programs that had nothing to do with us, right? Then they used those same set programs to get us comfortable. Instead of giving us what we needed to do for our own, at the rate we needed to do it, which I think that's more better than anything, they gave programs, built projects, built buildings. You see what I'm saying? Gave certain jobs that they thought we was good for, instead of us creating our own jobs. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying and what he's doing is with Snap is we've been so comfortable with it. We gotta eat, but there's people out there that's feeding us poison.
And what you mean, like when you say feeding us poison?
Meaning that when you go in most of these grocery stores, there's a small 10% of fruits and vegetables, and then the rest of the store is filled with sugar and salt and funny characters, and our kids be pointing at them and wanting them, and then we buy them, and then our kids are getting sick in the long run. That's what I'm saying. So how has Snap benefited our community if we're talking real? If we got real people talking, and that's going to be against the grain.
All right, now, right there, stay right there for a minute. You have a mother with about, I'm going to say 5 kids, no baby father there. What they supposed to do?
First of all, see, that's what I'm saying. This is what we do all the time. Every time we look at what we're supposed to do and create for ourselves, we always look at that sob story victim. What if you got a mother out there who ain't feeding her kids? Here's the thing. If we change the realm of things and say, stop bringing kids in the world if you can't take care of them. That part, you have a hump session, you have 9 months Stop bringing children in the world and you don't have no money.
Now, what happens when she doing it? Because the guy wants the baby, but now once the baby come, not yet. Then when the baby come, he runs from his responsibilities.
Oh my goodness. See, that's what, oh man. Okay, I get that part. How do we get there? Because that's not. I want to ask you this question, and I really want to ask you, man. I think you can answer this for me. How did we get from say slavery was our thing? That's what happened. Say I don't believe it, but say it is. How did we get from being on a plantation, still having sex, still having relationships and families in the plantation? We leave the plantation, and now we're broken homes. And we're not seeing what's going on. Stop. Come on.
Well, check this out. Let's go back to the plantation, right? When they brought the people over here to work the land, they clothed them and they fed them. They gave them hand-me-downs, raggedy stuff, whatever. Now, once they were set free, the plantation that they was on, this time, the owner had to, actually, they became employees now. So he had to create a salary for them. Now, when I started looking at that later down the line, you have so many people that went hungry, right? So now they created the program to help people get food or get clothing. Because I'm going to tell you, that's what I do too. You know, I can get donations. Wait a minute. I just want to kind of show you something. I get donations of all sorts, clothes, food, furniture, whatever. Because a lot of people don't have that financial resources to get those things, you know. And I'm just talking about the ones that's slipping through the cracks. Now, this where I'm at. This where I'm at with the brothers. With the brothers. Now, I'm going to do this because number one, and it's the way my mother taught me, men take care of their responsibilities. So if you got children out there, you raise your damn children, whether you with the baby mother or not. You help create them, you take care of them. You don't leave it on one person. You don't do it. Now, I'm 63, bro. I can't even tell you if my father living or not. But what I did with my children, the total opposite of what he did with me. I made sure I was a part of their lives. Because I never wanted my kids to feel that pain of not having their father in their life. As a result of that, I became a foster care provider. As a result of that, I became a mentor because I was trying to fill that gap in children's lives that didn't have that positive male role model. So my thing is with our brothers, right? Anytime you lay down with somebody, if you don't want to take care of your responsibility, strap the hell up. Strap up. It ain't no excuses for it. Strap up. So now, come on.
You telling them, okay, so basically you telling them what society has told them that they can go around and just spread their loins.
No. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to know. No.
Just listen to me carefully because we OGs in this, so don't try to sugarcoat it.
Right,
so watch this. I was told the same thing. Go out there and you can have smack. See, that was the first mistake. It wasn't always like that. Okay? Now that you could go out there and have smacks, oh, be careful because you could catch diseases. Now they got condoms.
All that.
See, it came in. We can't just always tell our youth this is what it is. We got to explain to them how it happened and how we got here. That's going to open up their eyes a little better than just saying strap it up. But you telling them basically go out here when I just said we should have them educated to where if you're going to go have sex, there's a possibility that act can cause you to have a child or get a disease. So I would rather them be educated, since you keep saying education is all this, then why did we just say education on the men and the new generation, not the old ones? You can't do nothing with the old ones. Some of them are too far gone. Me and you both know this.
Okay? No, I don't believe it.
Listen.
I got you, but I don't believe it. I got you now. Don't.
This is what you're saying you don't believe. There. Hold on. I know both sides. I'm not sugarcoating it. Okay? Remember Forrest Gump? Everybody is in the war zone. The ones you talking about are the ones are like Lieutenant Dan. Leave me here. Even though they listening to you, even though they hear you got this company, even though they say, hey, my brother Stephen, that's a good program, but they still don't want to be taken out of this situation. They still will help adding on. They still will go to the strip clubs. They still will distribute the smugs. They still will beat on it. All this stuff is going on, right? And then you got the ones that are injured, the ones that call out and say, yo, I'm listening to you, brother. Those are the ones that we should only pay attention to. Right? Because this is what happens. If we focus on them, our numbers will start to grow. And then we'll have a solid number that we could go against the solid number of the ones they got that are destroying the community.
All right.
And when the new children come out, this is what it does for the new generation. No matter what your parents are doing, when you step outside, see, because your parents can only take care of you but so much. Now, when you step outside, right now, I know when the children step outside, they see a negative side. The positive side, they got to crawl through all this trauma just to find a success story. That's what I know at 51. What I want to change is, even though I can't change the negative situation because it's more powerful than me and they got more money than me, at least we can build a foundation of the other side. So when those children do come outside, they can see that one that I can't control, but they can see the one that we know what we can control and we built for them. Now, that will be their choice. But right now, Stephen, what I'm telling you is, we either gonna beg these people for some money, or we gonna try to get it together on our own in some impossible mission, because we can't ask the successful blacks for money to help us with the problem that they know about. So at the end of the day, we're just in this cycle to where we gotta come up with a business, come up with a LLC, come up with some type of business in order to help our people. So what I'm saying is, poverty is created. Watch this. In New York City, if you have 14 people homeless, when it began, Stephen, listen to me, when it began, I got 14 people who don't have a home. I will go out there and tell them, hold on for a second. I got you. I'm going to go build a building. I'm going to go hire people. I'm going to give them nice little names and T-shirts and all these little badges and all this budget. And then I'm going to send them out there to help you. So what I have created, instead of just going straight to the 14 people, by the time we finish all that, what we doing, and make this housing authority, we done created about 400 more people.
Well, that's what you do, Osei. Now, keep in mind, because I'm going to take you here for something that you said. Saturdays at 2:00 is my Teen Talk show. I came on here to talk about, setting everything back up, right? Now, you already know what's going on in the city. What I mean in the community. You already know the programs that need to be created in your community to help people move forward. You create those programs. Everybody, like you said, everybody is not going to come. But if anybody call me or they come into my housing program, one, I do my intake form, right? So I'm interviewing you, but I have to let you know too, you are the one that have to make the changes. So the goal is that ghetto structured mindset. You have to sign up for the mental health program, because our goal is to break that slave man mentality that's been passed down throughout the years, to help you to think more conservative, more positive, in life now. We know you're going to fall short here and there, but now we're teaching you ways and means to turn it around. This is why I created a team. But before you come in, I'm going to do my intake. And I'm not by myself, because we're going to decide whether you serious about the program, or do we want to allow you in. And if everybody else say, no, I don't think they fit for the program, blah, 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 because I might say, yeah. But then other people, I have them to speak for me, because you are the one, the individual, that have to make the changes. Once you sign them papers and you come into your own space. Rather you're an individual, rather you are a family. It's work you got to do to turn it. So as we see you moving forward, you get into the apprenticeship program. So now we know you relying on state and government funding, but the goal is to break that too, to help you to become more independent, where you don't need the state and the government funding. So that's where your career-minded jobs come in at. As you begin to do that, and we see that you can afford a decent place. For me, I have to talk with housing. I have to talk with homeless services. I need to know about these programs that they have out there that they will help you pay partially for your rent, and some people, all of it. It all depends on it, mainly if you're disabled, right? I'm just saying. They can pay for things. I got programs that will pay up to a year. Then now I had to start reaching out to people to help our people to become more independent. So now once you graduate from the program, you in the temporary part, right? You graduating from the program, you get the key to your affordable place. Whether it's apartment, whether it's a house, or if you want to get into my home buyers program, you can. Because that's what we set it up for. You know what's going on in the community, so you helping people to rebuild their lives. And I'm talking about people that's in the poor communities. That's why when I come on here, I share about not just me, because I work with a team of people. I asked Miss to come up, right, because she does a lot of work too. But it's not about bashing nobody. It's about creating. We are creators when you know what's happening now. And I'm going to let Miss talk. But look.
Before she say something, I just want to say the point of it is all we doing is copying the same thing that they did. Instead of us creating our own and not a program. When I mean create the things that are missing, that we know that's missing. Programs have never helped anybody. They have never helped anybody. Like you said, you have to be baby fed, and you have to make sure you're going through this, and then we open up something else for you, and open up and then at the end of the day, no matter what, how many Black-owned programs I went to and I know of, they still got to come to the city. They still got to come to the YT who has a program and a structure set up to finally help them. All I'm saying, Stephen, is that we done with that. This is the new.
Well, let me, cause wait a minute. I get where you coming from, O'Shea.
Let me finish. I ain't saying nothing negative. I ain't saying nothing.
Wait a minute, Miss.
Let me finish. Next year, like I told you, we have been letting the people, there's a monkey in the room, there's an elephant in the room, and there's some secret that our culture has a problem with, yo, and it makes me upset.
What do we have a problem with?
This is the problem. We are too busy. We are the only race in America. In America, I ain't talking about nowhere else. I'm talking about here in America. That have to come up with programs, have to come up with GoFundMes, have to come up with all this and go to court and all this and beg for stuff. When we have successful women and men that look just like me and you, that have the resource. This is what I'm saying, bro. What I'm saying is if you're following what's going on, and like I know, they have to give the government half of their money, right?
You're gonna do it anyway in taxes.
They find out places that they can spend this money where they don't have to give it to the government. I know this because I'm in the business. It just goes up the ladder. You find places to give money so you don't have to give it to the government. So if that is true, and every celebrity or every basketball player, every entrepreneur who is successful can say that in a room together. All I would say to them that nobody's ever said to them.
Well, let me say this, O'Shea. O'Shea. I hear what you're saying.
I don't mean to run. Let me finish. All I'm saying, why they can't come together, just them, not us, them. Why they couldn't all come together when they party and say, hey, look, there's about 6,000 of us in here.
No.
Can I finish? You can't say no about something they never been asked.
Wait a minute, because I don't want, ho. I don't want a lot of yelling on here. Please, stop. Now, I hear, and come on, Miss.
I'm sorry, I was talking to somebody outside the car.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But look.
All I'm saying to end this, I'm just saying, you're telling me that they would rather come together in the masses and promote and sell stuff to us. FanDuel, alcohols. I could put a whole book of stuff that all of these people would. We don't ask them to help us what we need that they know about, but they have sold us something and helped another person put their kids through school and be in a better place. All I'm saying is we're the only race in America that cannot, and for some reason if I say this, I'm just bashed for that for some reason. Like, why you dare ask them people? But at the end of the day, if Nas come from Queensbridge and he has did nothing for Queensbridge, don't tell me about nothing book bags. He has done nothing for Queensbridge. But when he does finally come in and say, I own some of Uber and I'm getting money, because this is how I got here because of y'all, right? And then the first thing he can do for Queens is help them tear down the last black-owned strip, right? To put a casino. So you mean to tell me that the masses is hip hooray? He's bringing a casino, which we know what casinos do to community. Look at Atlantic City. Come on, man. So all I'm saying is, when is enough is enough? Rihanna selling us Fenty, selling us this, selling us music. So it's like she's a billionaire. All she got to do is start where A$AP Rocky live. She ain't got to do nothing else but start with Harlem. Oprah, all she got to do is start with Chicago. We not asking them to save the whole United States of black.
Why not?
Telling them to start where they from, where they know it's bad.
Let me look. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. Look. No. I'm all right with that. But see, my thing is, right, I hear everything you saying, right? And I hear the people that you mentioning. Why are you not pulling them together to actually do the work?
I told you, what did I tell you on the last post? I am working on a petition right now. It's a treaty plus petition, right? I told you that. I said I'm working on it. If anybody want to help me with this petition and this treaty, then feel free. They would know that. I'm not going to just tell everything, but I got all of their names. I got all of their incomes. I got things that they have spent and wasted money on.
Now,
put it down to how it could be distributed, I got from the beginning and I got from the end of how that money is going to be dispersed. And that's all you got to do when you're creating, is create that with no bias. Use the information you research, and then you bring in other people that can take it further.
So let me ask you this, Osei. So have you started a LLC or your nonprofit?
I don't need a LLC and a nonprofit.
Well, what is? Hold up. Come on. Wait a minute, hold.
I'm just telling you, I'm by myself. There's no need to start any business if I'm by myself. Okay. So when you ask me, I know where it's going. Whenever our people ask, have you started a business? They assume that businesses are just going to be successful because you start them. No, brother. I've learned that if you don't have your team players, there's no reason to start any business. And I'm quite sure you had some people that was riding with you when you started your corporation. You can't do it by yourself. And we need to stop telling people that. Please, brother. You can't do it by yourself.
Let me share this. I was trying to do a million things at one time, right? So I had to back up. Now, when I started my LLC, not just that I started the LLC, you got to understand the housing program. It takes people. It takes people to line them up, to actually run your stuff for you. Actually, you teach them how you want things done. So you build the team. You got your board members. You have your volunteers. Because these are people that's working with the clients, where I won't have to put myself in all those places like that. So I had to put people in position to do it. Not only that, with the LLC, then you talk about the housing foundation. I have people that will bring food, clothing. I get stuff like that myself to give back, not just to my housing program, but to the community. Because now, guess what? When people see what you're doing and they see not just you running off at your mouth, they see that your actual work. They got to see what you are actually doing. So that's why I tell people that my actions speak louder than anything I could say out of my mouth, because I can show you what I'm doing. And that's the goal. So now, if you don't have the financial resources to help as a whole, you have to start reaching out to business partners, sponsors, and investors. And not only that, philanthropists. Then you have to find people that know where the grant money is at, the free money. What you saying? I don't care what color it come from. If we want to put it on a racial part of it or complexion.
So Stephen,
come on.
You know, I like to come on here. When I come on here, I like to bring statistics and actual stats that actually going to measure up, okay? I hear him speaking, but I haven't heard him really come up with a solution thus far that he's actually fixing the problem within himself. All of those people that have made massive amount of money or income, they did not get that on their own, and they have also used the government for particular funding to start their business. A lot of them have government contracts and things like that that were invested in them in order for them to get where they are. So why us as the minority BLK people, what is wrong with us? Because, sweetheart, I actually have my 501c3 set up. I actually have a business. My 16-year-old has a 501c3, and she started a pantry at her school. You can't just start super big. I hear your mindset, but getting a petition signed is not out here changing anything, and that's not me bashing you at all. But I'm not. You're saying not to go to the government for a handout, but yeah, you want to go to people that worked hard for what they got to ask them for a handout. What are you doing individually? I can't speak for what no one else is doing. I can't speak for what Mr. Steven is doing. I can only